So turn the light and fire. Which is a simple way to think about this. Especially when you're sleeping. Amazing how many other biological systems.
I think I'm gonna have to call it. I don't know if I don't think I can make it through this. Damn it. See, these are the times that I'm like, damn, I wish I had my Subaru again. But so I'm just gonna have to turn around. Fuck it. What I think I'm gonna do is just leave my car parked right here because it's right next to the gate. Because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, or at least drizzle a little bit. So last thing I wanna do is get stuck back there with all that nasty mud and not have a way to get out. So I think I'm just gonna stay parked here, take all my stuff and just kind of walk down there. It's not too bad. I can haul my stuff. It's probably like 3/4 of a mile down this road. So fuck it, let's do it. You do what you gotta do. All right, this is my home for the next 16-ish hours. Oh, motherfucker. I don't want to make another trip back. Although I do really want to. Should I make another trip? Fuck it, I'm going back. Good thing I came back. Because I definitely need these. Round 2. I'm so fucking stupid. Why didn't I just leave my car where it was, take the stuff out, and then drive my car back so I didn't have to lug it this far? I think I'm just a masochist. This is what they mean when they say work smarter, not harder. I'm definitely working much harder than I need to be. It's kind of interesting. When I was a kid, I was heavy into animals. I don't know why, but I just like loved, I still love documentaries and like nature documentaries, but like Animal Planet, Discovery, Travel Channel, like all that was my shit. I loved it. And like when I was a kid, I had this short but brief dream of like being like a crocodile hunter, kind of going around exploring the wilderness, catching animals. Like that shit sounds so fun to me. And I think unconsciously I was kind of turned off by that because the only people I ever saw doing that were white people. I didn't really see anyone that looked like me doing that. I feel like I was kind of embarrassed to talk about it. Black people don't hunt animals. Black people stay away from the animals. Black people don't be doing nature hikes and being out in the wilderness. That's some white people shit. And it is. But like, why does it only have to be white people shit? Why can't it be black people shit? I'm not saying I'm trying to be out here like Bear Grylls, drinking my own piss and picking up bear feces. But why can't we do more stuff like this? I don't know, just kind of something I was kind of thinking about. I picked up this book. It's called Black Faces, White Spaces. This is what the back says. Why are African Americans so underrepresented when it comes to interest in nature, outdoors, recreation, and environmentalism? In this thought-provoking study, Carolyn Feeney looks beyond the discourse of the environmental justice movement to examine how the natural environment has been understood, commodified, and represented by both black and white Americans, bridging the fields of environmental history, cultural studies, critical race studies, and geography. Feeney argues that the legacies of slavery, Jim Crow, and racial violence have shaped cultural understandings of the great outdoors and determined who should and can have access to these natural spaces. That's what I've been talking about. That's what I've been talking about. Feeney reveals the perceived and real ways in which nature and environment have racialized in America. Looking towards the future, she also highlights the work of African Americans who are opening doors to greater participation in environmental and conservation concerns. I will read this book and report back on how it was. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep eating my peanuts, my chocolate, and this Nature Valley bar, which when I open it, I already know there's gonna be a million crumbs. Look at this. Here's a little song I like to call the campfire song. Nah, psych, you thought.
Any mountain lion try to run up on me, I'm gonna beat that nigga with a toe tag, nigga.
Dun dun.
You know, I've never really been someone who's like scared of the dark or anything. Like it never really bothered me when I was younger. Even now, like it's like not a big deal. But I will say there is something that's like extra terrifying about night in the desert.
I just got up to go to the bathroom right now. One, it's scary as fuck out there. Two, the stars are absolutely amazing. Like it straight up feels like I'm in outer space. It's wild. My lips are dry as fuck, man. I need my Burt's Bees. I need my Burt's Bees. Oh, damn. This is cold, man. It's so cold. It's like 25 degrees right now. I'm dying.
Oh, it's so cold this morning. That's why I wanted to get this fire going. So I could warm up a little bit. I'm gonna eat some breakfast, finish off this fire, and then get ready to hit the road to head back home to Oxnard. Let me do some of my book before I leave. That's the best I got. It says glue, staple, or tape these pages together. What if I just glue it with toothpaste? Yeah. Okay. Minty fresh. Draw lines while in motion on the bus, on the train, while walking. Huh? I started drawing lines, and then it looked like tic-tac-toe, and then I just started doing that. Tongue painting, colorful candy, lick this page. Okay, did it. I did this. I wrote blessed over and over again. Tie a string to the spine of this book. Swing wildly. Let it hit the walls. Okay, well, there's no string, but it says violently swing it. So, like, I guess I'm just gonna, like, throw it, I guess. I'll just have to do that. And there's a wall right there, so I can use that wall. Yeah. Still good? You had enough yet? You ready to talk? Okay, I think this journal's taken enough abuse. Pick up the journal without using your hands? I can do that. Okay, I'll do one more, and then I really gotta start going. I did that. compost this page. Watch it deteriorate. Oh my gosh, this is perfect because there's a giant compost right back there. I'm scared to look inside. Those beer cans were definitely not compost, but the green bags were definitely bags of dookie. Human dookie and probably dog dookie. Even though I just looked at it, I feel like I still need to wash my hands.
Believing in me, you know, it was just this real.
It's been a good trip. I've had a lot of emotions, I feel like. A lot of ups and downs, highs and lows. A lot of time to reflect. I think that's the one thing I really enjoy about like solo road trips is you have a lot of time to reflect and just think. I'm already a pretty introspective person, but I feel like I get a little deeper when I'm just like by myself. Especially when you're just out here in the fucking boonies. There's nothing around but you, the stars, and whatever other little critters are running about. I think I'm feeling a little like melancholy right now at the moment. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm listening to this podcast about some dude dying. I think just overall, I'm just again reflecting on my experience of just life, my life transitions, the past 2 years, where I'm at, where I want to be. I have all these career aspirations, academic aspirations, and recently I've been developing like relational aspirations. I think that's something I've really been focusing on a lot more. Having more. That doesn't mean like I want to like be in a relationship or get a girlfriend or anything, but just like noticing my defense mechanisms and how I operate. Just almost like this, not quite pathological, but this level of like independence that I go towards. Being hyper independent is a blessing and a curse, and it's a curse in a way where you push people away even if you don't realize it. And so some of like the social and relational aspirations that I have now are just like to make more friends. There's so many benefits that come with being more extroverted or more social and having more connection. You don't even need to be extroverted, just like having more connections, more friends. It would be nice to just have more friends, more connections, get to know some more people. And I've been trying to do that slowly but surely. But it's obviously, I'm not going to make 100 friends overnight. I've been hearing a lot of research and talk about loneliness, specifically loneliness in men, and how it's an epidemic, and I totally see it. I'm very lonely. I'm extremely lonely. Yes, I do love solitude, and I love times like this where like I'm like, you know, I just got my one-on-one time with me. I'm road tripping by myself. I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. And that is such a freeing thing. It's so free. But with that kind of comes like some loneliness. So part of me is like, is it worth it, you know? Like, what is true freedom? And is true freedom like really worth it if you are sacrificing relationships and connections with people? We're the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're the blacks and slaves. 3/5 of man, I believe, is the phrase. I'm just kidding. That's a Jay-Z song. We really value our freedom here in this country. And I actually think, maybe unpopular opinion, too much freedom is actually a bad thing. I think too much freedom can be a bad thing. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And I'm not talking about freedom where like, oh, enslavement versus free. No, not like that. Like freedom as in, if you give a 5-year-old too much freedom, they're gonna, you know, probably do something bad. If you give a teenager too much freedom, you know, they could get into trouble or do things that they're not supposed to. Even with adults, when you give adults too much freedom, I think like this, it turns into, like what I'm doing, it turns into hyper independence. Yeah, I've just been lonely. Something that I've thought about for a while in the last like year or so, where it like hit me, where I was like feeling all these different emotions. I was like, oh, I'm fucking lonely. That's what this feeling is. And I know it's not just me. I know a lot of other men suffer through loneliness, because we have this fucked up idea of masculinity, that tells us we have to be hyper independent creatures that rely on no one except for our own bronze and brains. We evolved to be social creatures. That's why like we got to like where we are at in society, because we're supposed to be social. We're supposed to work together. They've done experiments, these pretty fucked up experiments on like monkeys, where they'll isolate monkeys and like they go crazy. But we need social connection. And if we don't have it, then we get what we have today, which is a loneliness epidemic. Another reason why men are lonely is because we don't talk about our emotions like that. A lot of times it's like seen as weak for men to talk about their emotions. It's seen as feminine, it's seen as girly. But why are those bad things? I need to get on the road. Let me just shut up and get on the road. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.